Welcome to the Business Behind the Scene podcast with Francesca Moi, where we talk all about real business problems, real solutions, and getting actual results in business. Hello, and welcome to Business Behind the Scene with Francesca Moi, episode number 19. I'm really excited today. We just finished the book, my third book. It's done and dusted, sent to editing for the final edits, and hopefully will be out by the end of May. I am so excited. Now, this book has got a little bit of a history because I have wrote my first two books back in 2015, and I wrote them in following Natasha Denman's strategy, which is write a book in 48 hours. And I legit wrote the book in 48 hours. It was amazing. And then because Natasha's got all the systems in place to edit it and help you with all the editing stuff, it was literally done in 5 weeks. I had this book in my hands in literally like 9 weeks. It was crazy. But the third book took a little bit more for me. What that means is that the third book was a bit more personal, was about me, was about the person that I was becoming as the business was growing. And I have to say that as I started to write the book, I realized that I didn't really like the person that I was at the time. And this is something that I have not really shared, and it's something that I wanted to talk to you guys, because as business owners, sometimes we have coaches, we have people that tell us who we want to be, what we need to stand for, how you do in this situation, what you do in that situation. But a lot of our decisions are based on scarcity. A lot of other decisions are based on what is right to do in this case, so I don't lose my business. And the person that I was becoming behind the scene, it wasn't really the person that I wanted to choose to be. And as I started to write the book, and I realized that in my life I was being invisible. My personal life, since I was little, I didn't want to be seen. I didn't want to stand out. I didn't want to be in front line. I wanted to be in the back, and I didn't want to be seen. I wanted to stay invisible. And as as those memories come back to in my awareness, I was like, I don't think I want to be visible now either. And so I had this deep feeling of imposter, of teaching people how to go from invisible to invincible, and not wanted to be that. Not wanted to be invincible myself. And I didn't feel right writing a book about the story if I didn't want to be invincible anymore. And this book took me so long to write, because every time I pick it back up, I felt like it wasn't real. It wasn't true. It wasn't the real me. I couldn't put it out there. And so that's how my personal development journey really started. So I started to write this book in January 2018. January 2018, I started to write this book, and it took me is it January 2018? Hold on, I'm just having a moment right now. January 2019, sorry, pardon me. So January 2019, I started to write this book, and I noticed and realized that the person that I was, I didn't want to be that person anymore. And I wanted to be a different type of leader, and I wanted to stand in my business in a different way. And so I paused it, and I put it aside, and I picked it up again 6 months later. So in June, after I met Eric, as Eric and I were getting to know each other, I was really keen to get this book up and running. And as I recorded it all, I put it all into words, I recorded it, and then my team transcribed it, and then as it come back from transcription, I go and edit it, and again, the feeling of imposter, the feeling of I don't really want to be here, the feeling that now I had a man, and a strong man, and I wanted him to be in front, and I wanted to be behind him. I wanted to hide. I didn't want to be in front. I wanted to do everything for him. I wanted to please him. And all of a sudden, I couldn't find the successful businesswoman that I was. I couldn't find me anymore, and I thought that it was all fake. And I was terrified because I didn't know how to be strong, and how to be feminine, and how to be loving and be in front. And I didn't know how to say no, and I didn't know how to do this. I didn't know how to stay invincible loving someone. That is huge, because coming from being single to coming into a relationship, now I had to tell the world in this book how I got there, and I didn't feel authentic, because all of a sudden I was feeling like a 15-year-old again. All of a sudden, all I created, I couldn't stand on it anymore, because I was back into being vulnerable, into being sensitive, into being pleasing, and I didn't know which one was the real Francesca. It was massive. It was massive moment for me, because I had to start to really dig deep in me and dig to understand, hold on a second, but who really are we? Who are we becoming? Who are we choosing to become? That is something that it was such a breakthrough for me, because I realized that there is no such a thing as like, oh, that's not who I am. I remember doing a live video about me losing weight, and in this journey, in this book, writing this book, I lost about 20 kilos. So the journey of writing this book and me looking after myself and putting myself first, and then me getting into a relationship while trying to keep this business alive, while trying to find who I am, it's been a crazy last 18 months. And I'm so grateful for it, because I finally found who I choose to be, and I don't give myself hard time for sometimes wanting to be invisible, and I don't give myself hard time for sometimes not wanting to be out there, and I don't give myself hard time for sometimes wanting to be out there. I accept all of me. Instead, before, I thought that I had to be one consistently all the time, and if I wasn't that one consistently all the time, that means that it was all fake, right? Isn't it fascinating how tough are we with ourselves? So I realized that, hold on a second, I can be a loving girlfriend and a strong, successful businesswoman. I can do both. And he will love me even more, because if I get back to that, because that's where he met me. He met me as a successful businesswoman, and that's what attracted him to me. And I can't change that. It's not going to be good for me, for him, for anybody, for our relationship, for my business, for his business. So I had to really find what I really wanted and who I really wanted to be, and accept that right now I can choose to be invincible, and I can choose to be aware, and I can choose to be driven, and tomorrow I can wake up and choose the opposite, and it's okay. And that is something that we don't allow ourselves to do. As people, we wanted to put ourselves in a box. I'm the untidy one. My brother is the tidy one. I'm the disorganized one. I'm the one that wastes all the money. I'm the one, right? We make up all these stories, and then we hang on to that identity with all our strengths and with everything we got, because we don't know who else we are if we don't do that. And one of my biggest things in the last 6 months is been betrayal. I've been terrified of being betrayed, because I was hanging on to a story. When I was young, when I was 15, my best friend got with my ex-boyfriend, my boyfriend at the time, and they got together, and he broke up with me, and it devastated me. And I was so revengeful. I wanted to really oh my God, I didn't want her to be happy. I wanted so much for her to not be happy, because it wasn't fair what she did to me. And I went on and speak about her to the whole school. And then all of a sudden, I just had the biggest realization this week, is that I was doing to her what she was doing to me. I was being a really, really not nice person to her, and I was doing tick for tack. And subconsciously, I thought that was self-love. I thought because I love myself, I need to respect myself, and I need to demand respect with other people. So if they do something to me, they better watch. I'm Italian. I'm fiery. Am I? Are you? Is that who you are? Is that who I am? Can we change that? I found out that I can. And I choose to. It's hard. Trust me. It's so hard because everything in my body was programmed to revenge. Someone does something to you, you better know how to defend yourself. That's how I grew up. I grew up that I was seeing other people in my family getting bullied, and I thought I had to defend them. I thought I had to destroy the people that were bullying my family. But for what? That brings more hate into the world. That brings more, non-connection into this world. Doesn't help us. At the end of the day, when you do angry, you do it to your body. When I do angry, I feel sick. I can't sleep. I feel anxious. I do it to me. The other person doesn't even feel it most of the time. So why choosing that? It's been a massive awareness for me to choose to let go of the fear of betrayal. Because the more I was afraid of being betrayed, the more people I would attract that would betray me. And every step of my business, every step of my growth, I will find different type of betrayal. Betrayal from team members, betrayal from business partners, betrayal from coaches, betrayal for boyfriends, betrayal from best friends, betrayal from best friend that got a job with me, betrayal from everything and everyone around me. But that was something that I was creating because I wanted to prove myself that I was still there somewhere. That was me hanging on to the old me. That was me hanging on to who I thought I was. So I hope that this is getting you to think about who are you becoming, and are you allowing that? Or are you telling yourself an old story on who you used to be, and because of that, we need to change? Because my friends, if you want to grow your business, you're going to be willing to change. And with change, it comes some people are not going to be in your life anymore. Some people are going to have to move on. Some people are going to try to hold you back. Some people are going to suggest and push you forward. Some people are going to tell you, why is it taking you so long? Come on, hurry up and change faster. You will, you deserve it. But the thing is, it's not about those people. What are you wanting for you? How much are you willing to sacrifice? How much are you willing to fight for your growth? Who are you becoming is exactly who you were meant to becoming. Where you're at right now is exactly where you're meant to be. Don't judge it. Don't think, oh my gosh, I went through the time of being, such a bad person, or I did naughty things, or it wasn't fair, or I treated a person badly, or whatever you've done, forgive yourself. Forgiveness to ourselves is a must for us to be able to accept who we want to become. But you can't move forward until you do that. And for me, as I discovered the betrayal game that I was playing, subconsciously, obviously, I started to feel guilt. Guilt for really not being very nice to that person that got my boyfriend. Not very nice for the people that tried to do things that I see as betrayal, but is it? Because the fact is neutral. The fact that my best friend hooked up with my boyfriend when I was 15, it's a story. It's got no emotion whatsoever. The emotion is created when I add a thought to it. The fact is, woman hook up with a guy. If you want, can be friend, hook up with boyfriend. But it's got no feeling whatsoever. If you didn't know them, you wouldn't be thinking anything negative. So the fact that that was my friend, and that's my thought, goes into how dare she should be the one that helps me. How dare she should be the one protecting me from my boyfriend trying to cheat on me. And that is the story that really happened right now. And didn't happen in my boyfriend, but it happened with the friend betraying me with another friend. And I saw that as betrayal. But the truth is, that's not it. I created that story in my head. And I created the feeling of that story in my body. And I chose to be mad at those people. But the point is that is not serving me. For most, it wasn't serving me. And what the person I was becoming with that anger is no one that I want to be. So I had to stop and I had to think, right, what if it just happened and I've got nothing to do with it? What if it's fine? What if it's okay? What if I just don't have to give that thought? What if this is the best for me? What if this was meant to be so that I can move forward in my things? There is so much that I can decide to think, but I was choosing to think negative. So I would like you to be aware of the person that you're becoming. Are you studying your mind? Are you working on your mind? Are you surrounding yourself with amazing people? The other day I had a beautiful, beautiful friend of ours coming to hang out with us, and it was beautiful to finally have this amazing conversation, 2 hours conversation about what's happening in the world and how amazing connections and amazing people around you can help you to really see the truth of who we are. I love the type of people that I surround myself with now because they're people that help me to elevate. I used to wish to be invisible, and sometimes I still do. And yes, I teach people how to get from invisible to invincible, and in my book I'm very raw and very honest and very vulnerable, because I think and I believe that we need to show this side of us for people to see that, it's easy for Francesca Moi, it's easy for this person. I don't want people to think that it's easy for me, because if that's the case, they're going to use that as an excuse for them not to do anything about it. And that's not the case. Nobody had it easy. We chose to move forward through the mud. Are you choosing to do that? Who is the person that you're becoming? Make a list about the person that you want to become. Make a list of the person that you are now. And what is the gap? Can you build a bridge? Can you get to the other side? What would it take for you to get to be that person that you want to be now? What behaviors do you have to change? What attitude? How many times a day you have to smile? How many times a day you have to make someone else smile? What if you could just be that person now? Some people goes, well, I want to be a millionaire, but I can't just go out there and buy whatever I want. Okay, but you can think like a millionaire. You can act like a millionaire. You can start to feel abundant in your body before you go out there and spend it. And to be honest, millionaires don't spend that much money. It's so funny. I used to waste so much money in little things that would make me feel like I could afford to buy things. And I used to buy stupid things that I didn't need. And now I don't need that reassurance. I don't need that gratification. So I don't go and spend money. So if you want to pretend to be a millionaire, that's exactly what you got to do. Stop wasting money in things that one millionaire wouldn't waste in. Right? It's actually cheaper to be a millionaire because you don't go and waste money. You don't just do it. You just decide to invest in your business. You invest in your brain. You invest in things that are going to be able to give you more value so that you can double it, triple it, quadruple it. I invest so much in my brain, so much time, so much money, so much effort, because that is the most expensive asset that I have, my brain. And my brain will allow me to choose and to become who I want to become now. So I hope you guys got something out of this today, and you're going to put yourself out there, do that list, and start to behave like the person you want to become, because you can choose that right now. It's your choice. We all have a choice. Thank you, my friend. I hope you stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, then you have to come check out the Entrepreneur's Abundance Mindset Mastermind. It's my monthly mastermind where you get to spend time with me, where we take all this material, we apply it, we study it, and so we can take your business to a whole new level. So just go to the Francesca Moi, the Meetup Queen Facebook business page, and then just send me a message and you'll be able to choose the option EAM Mastermind. I would love to have you join me there, and I'll see you next week.